What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with a little video about YouTube, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the YouTube community in general and the recent announcement of YouTube Heroes. Now, I'm not usually one that chimes in on drama or gets into like politicized stuff or anything like that, but there's been a lot of crap going on with YouTube lately, and a lot of people are talking about YouTube Heroes, and I kind of wanted to weigh in and give my 2 cents about it. Because I do consider myself to be, I guess I'd say, a YouTube hobbyist. I don't really know if I'm a content creator because I really am not that active here. I have a very small channel to begin with, but I like YouTube. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time being on here. I don't care about views or how many people sub to me. I just like to put out content and discuss it with people. So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this recent announcement with YouTube Heroes. Now, YouTube has been under a lot of fire lately. Mainly because they just started to really enforce their monetization policy, which has really irritated a lot of people because they're targeting videos and taking them down if they talk about certain sensitive subjects, political subjects, language that they don't like, if you curse in your videos, because advertisers apparently don't want to be associated with those types of controversial things. But the thing is, YouTube has always had that in their terms of service, and they've had the right to enforce it. They've just never done it before. So it really caught a lot of people off guard when they decided to start doing it. And the bad, of course, like a lot of people complained about it, but I honestly, I didn't think it was a huge deal because it's always been there in the terms of service. But the way they implemented it was really, really shady. They just all of a sudden decided to start doing it. And one of the interesting things they mentioned was, we've been doing this all along. We're actually going to notify you when we do this. So people actually were having videos unmonetized in the past, but YouTube just wasn't telling anybody. And that right there that's bad. That's really bad. If they're going to take something down or unmonetize your video and not tell you, that's pretty freaking shady. And a lot of this, of course, has been going on since Google took over YouTube, and of course a lot of us know Google's political views and wanting to have certain messages that they promote and don't promote. But like I said, I'm not going to get into that. I don't like getting into politics. It's just not a pretty situation, especially in today's climate when you have to either be on one side or the other. There's unfortunately no common sense and no middle ground. You're not allowed to really have an opinion. You have to join one side or the other, or people label you all kinds of nasty things. So that's why I don't really discuss politics or get into any of that, because I'm one of those common sense. I like to see both sides and try to reach an agreement, figure something out, but that's not something anybody really wants to do these days. But with YouTube Heroes, what they're basically doing is they're going to have volunteers from the YouTube community. You enter this Heroes program, and you can earn points by doing things like adding subtitles and things to people's videos, editing their video descriptions. There's all kinds of different stuff they can do, and there's different levels of the hero program, and as you get points and level up, YouTube allows you to do even more things like actually report videos and mass report videos for any content that you think is negative, and I'll get to that in a second. They're also offering all these workshops about how you can learn to be a better community member, and with the content and things. You get a direct contact line with YouTube and all this other stuff, which is really, really interesting because there's a lot of really big YouTubers who don't even have those options. So instead of allowing some of their better content creators who keep this site running to have these tools, they're giving them to these YouTube Heroes instead, which to me is kind of funny. I don't understand that. But the big thing is this whole reporting of videos and whatever content you deem negative. You can essentially mass flag, mass report people's videos, and you'll be able to get those videos unmonetized, possibly removed from the site. And the reasoning behind it is they say they want to make the community better. They want to make it more enjoyable for people to come to YouTube. And I'll admit there are some creators on YouTube who make some kind of questionable content, but I don't want to see them have their channels ruined. Just because I don't agree with somebody on something doesn't mean I want them to be shut down or censored or shut up or whatever. But you go to the comment sections on a lot of these larger YouTube channels, and you do see a lot of just the most vulgar internet, mouth vomit. It's just awful, some of the stuff people say. But that's unfortunately, I don't think that is what they are going to work on cleaning up with this program. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with reporting negative comments in videos or people that use bad language or homophobic slurs or any of this other stuff. I think what you're going to see happen with this, because a lot of people, especially when you get to be anonymous on the internet, just do not have the responsibility. People are going to use this and abuse this, and they are going to just report people they don't agree with. They're going to report things they don't personally like. If they don't agree with your opinion, they'll have the ability to flag your video and try to take your video down. And this has the potential to, we talk about slippery slope all the time, but this has the potential to slide right down that slope in a freaking hurry, because especially the way, you know, at least in America these days, the world's sort of a little bit too, there's just this whole movement nowadays where no one's allowed to be offended, no one's allowed to express their opinion unless you agree with the majority group, or unless you are, you know, a social justice warrior or whatever you want to call it. You're not allowed to have an opinion. And I'm only in my mid-30s, and I've seen a very, very, very drastic change in the way we do things here, especially in America, in just the last 10 to 15 years. It's been kind of crazy, honestly, to see the direction things are going in, especially when it comes to things like free speech and being able to express your opinion. As I said earlier, you know, it's you're not really allowed to talk about things unless you're on one side or the other. You can't have that common sense in the middle approach. We're not allowed to have dialogue about anything anymore. We're not allowed to discuss anything and try to reach an agreement. It has to be this or it has to be that. There's no more. There's just no more middle ground, and there's no more, you know, having a discussion and trying to reach an agreement. It just drives me kind of insane. And, you know, this is spurred on further by the media and by some of these larger corporations who try to impose their will and make you think one way or the other. And unfortunately, I see a lot of that going on with YouTube now, with the way they are making these decisions. And it's just crazy to think that they're going to put a system in place which will allow people to just basically mass flag videos that they don't agree with. Anything they don't like, they deem a negative. I mean, we're talking stupid stuff here. The people that on the internet that argue about stuff, I mean, it just gets so petty. I mean, we could get into a situation where you're doing a video about your favorite sports team and somebody doesn't like that team, so they just say, well, screw you, I'm going to flag your videos because I don't like that team. You know, and so the next thing you know, your stuff's getting taken down, your stuff's getting unmonetized, and it's ridiculous. Now, if there were responsible people and you weren't completely anonymous, then maybe something like this could work to make the community better and make it a more enjoyable place for people to go to. However, like I said, I just don't see that being the case, especially nowadays on the internet. Just being able to be anonymous, there's so many trolls to begin with, and I think people are going to abuse this system and definitely take advantage of it. So I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think it's going to affect me too much because, like I said, I'm a small channel. I don't usually make any kind of political content or content that people would really get too mad about, although I'm sure some people would try to take down some of my Bungie videos because they're huge Destiny fanboys. But, you know, it doesn't really bother me that much, especially because I do YouTube as a hobby to make a very minuscule amount of money to really maybe buy a video game here or there once in a while. But for the larger YouTubers, and a lot of them have been coming out talking about this, you know, Angry Joe, Boogie, and a lot of other guys have been coming out there talking about what's going on. And, you know, I agree with them. I think it's a terrible idea. I think this is just further going to serve to allow certain people to follow their agenda and censor channels that they don't like, whether it's the advertisers care about it or not. I don't think that really has much to do with it. I think you're just going to see people go wild with this, and it's not going to be very fun for the people that make a living off of YouTube. And just to give a couple funny statistics, the actual YouTube Heroes video where they discuss what's going on with it, it has 2.1 million views as of the making of this video, and it has 17,000 likes. So there's 17,000 people that actually like the idea. It has 650,000 dislikes. That is absolutely insane. I think that's a worse ratio than the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer, honestly, which is kind of shocking. But you would think that YouTube, seeing that, just that disparity, you know, out of the amount of people that have liked or disliked, I mean, you're looking at about 670,000 total people who've taken the option to like or dislike the video, and at least 95% of them said it's a terrible idea. It's a pretty large number to pull, you know, to sample from as well. So pretty much the majority of people think it's an awful idea, and you think YouTube would respond to that or maybe enter a dialogue about that. But again, that doesn't seem to be YouTube's thing. They don't really like to talk about things. They just like to put policies in place without really talking to any of their bigger creators and some of the people who have a lot of influence on the site. And it's really a shame because honestly, YouTube would not be what it is today if it wasn't for the people that make the content and put the content on YouTube, and all the personalities that attract all these people to their channels to get all that, you know, monetary and advertising stuff for YouTube. So it's really a shame. And now, right now, is a perfect time for another company, whether it's Twitch or somebody else, to come along and say, hey, come host your videos here. You know, here's our ad revenue package. Come over here. The problem is a lot of the other sites that you can go to do, you know, do your videos. They don't have as competitive, really, of an offering as YouTube in terms of the ad revenue and things like that. But I mean, really, right now is the perfect time for one of them to just get into the game and try to make some kind of very aggressive package to bring people to it. Because I guarantee you right now, if someone came along and offered similar service that was comparable to what YouTube does, people would be leaving YouTube in droves. And I don't think, you know, and I don't know if YouTube takes that for granted, or if they just, in Google, I don't know if they just don't understand that. But I think that's the case, honestly. There's just nowhere else to go that does what YouTube does right now for content creators. And that's all it's going to take, is somebody else to come along and offer a nice, you know, attractive package for you to come over. I think people would start leaving YouTube in droves, especially given the last couple months of things that are going on here on the site, which is kind of a shame, because, you know, YouTube is a pretty fun place to be, honestly, for me. You know, we have a lot of good discussions here. It's fun to get out there and express your opinion. You know, like I said, a lot of these people that'll be affected by this, I may not agree with everything people say. You know, I'm very on topic all the time about how I disagree with so many of the YouTubers that make content for Destiny, because they just kind of give Bungie a free pass on everything. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to see anything happen to them. I wouldn't go to their video and dislike it, or you know, want it taken down because I don't agree with their opinion of it. You know, they're allowed to enjoy the game and have that opinion. And I think what this YouTube Heroes is going to do is completely destroy any semblance of that here on YouTube. You know, people are not going to be allowed to really express themselves without having to worry about getting their video flagged, and that really sucks. That's really aggravating. And YouTube, not that you care, because I'm a small channel, you guys really should reconsider before you get into this and implement this program and make it mainstream on the site. It just is not a good idea. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below. Love to hear your all's opinions on this. You know, just tell me what you think about the policy in general. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a stupid idea? I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you again next time.